But before I share my screen, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Candice Woods, the Youth Program Outreach Manager for Alternative for Girls. I want to tell you a little bit about Alternative for Girls. We have Alternative for Girls was founded in 1987 by Miss Amy Good and some local neighbors who seen the situations that a lot of the young girls were in and wanted to make a difference. So Alternative for Girls, we have a shelter. I always break it up into two parts. We're able to house 15 to 17-year-olds for 21 days. We look to reunify them with their parents because they are minors. 18 to 22-year-olds, they can have children or not have children. And this is for young women, or if they identify as women. So they're able to stay anywhere from 6 months to 18 months. We help with schooling. We also help housing, therapy, just different things that we provide for them to be able to help them to get back into society and to grow the way that they need to. Our program, which is the Street Outreach Program, we currently go out into the community and we go into areas where human trafficking is going on. And they do that every Wednesday and Thursday night. They take the van out and they pass out information about Alternative for Girls. They do harm reduction kits, put them out in the community. Myself, Miss Ashley, Miss Antoinette Jackson, and Miss Alethea Collins, we work with the youth. And so we have a program, several programs. We have a street outreach program for youth, which is ages 14 to 24, that we go out into the community and we identify youth that are homeless or at risk of being homeless. And we provide services for them. We also do what we call a TOP program, which is a teen outreach program. We go into the schools, teach basic life skills and sex education to youth. We have a crisis resource center at Alternative for Girls. So if someone calls in or in need and is in need of services, we help them. If we can't house them or place them at our facility, we do reach out to other organizations, and we look to always partner with other organizations, schools, rec centers, with being able to help their students or youth to get the services that are needed. We currently also have a program that we started last year during the time of the pandemic, and which is Forgotten Harvest. We pass out food twice a month, which is every first and third Thursday of the month. And then we also have a prevention program at Alternative for Girls. We work with young girls that are ages 6 all the way up to 18. And that's an after school program that we provide for girls who would like to be in that program as well. So we're constantly moving and doing things. We also recently added on last year, actually a human trafficking piece, where we're able now to be able to assist those who are in human trafficking to get out. We're able to help with housing. Most of the time, if a person is in human trafficking, they're in it, and trying to get out is hard if they have nowhere to go. So we're able to provide housing in that aspect. And then also we have a domestic violence program as well, where we help individuals with doing PPOs, finding places of safety to be able to get away from those things. So I want to always start off with that, because oftentimes when we're talking to schools and teachers, sometimes you have things that may fall up under one of these radars, and feel free to reach out to myself, Miss Ashley Fairbanks, or Miss Tony Jackson, in regards to any services that you may see that you need. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Sure, got it up. All right. Okay, bear with me. All right. And we're going to do just like a part of this now, and we're going to do a part 2 in November. I'm sorry, hold on 1 second. Okay, all right. In this particular training, one of our case planners and another young lady created this slide on human trafficking a few years back, and we use this. We go into the schools and we talk about the different effects of human trafficking amongst our youth. Okay, move that back up. Okay, so what is sex trafficking? Oftentimes, most of the times, we have, if we were to poll a lot of people, human trafficking, the first time that you may have heard of it is probably on a TV show or some type of crime show or the news. And oftentimes people don't know what it, really entails. And so it's the selling of a sexual service in exchange for profit. This can be fraud, forced, or coercion. In many cases, children under the age of 18 that are in this if it's taking place, again, that is illegal. Oftentimes, what we run into with our organization, we do have young women that come in that are in our shelter, have experienced human trafficking, and we work to get them out of that environment. One of the things that I do gives me so much joy is we have a program called New Choices. And from the one program that we do in terms of when we go out into the streets and pass out information, well, someone can call in and say that they want to come out of that lifestyle. We work with them to get them out of that. And on Tuesdays, they have a support group for those that have come out of human trafficking. It's called New Choices. And it is the best thing ever to see these women come together. They work with a counselor. They talk about different things that they may have been through, that they may be struggling with right now, to help them get along and progress a little bit more. Are there any questions or anything before I move forward? Okay. All right. Feel free to stop me if you have any questions. Okay. All right. So human trafficking cases reported in 2018. Can anybody tell me what the numbers, you think the numbers were in terms of sex trafficking and victims identified? Anyone want to take a?
Don't have a clue. I said, don't have a clue.
Okay, all right. So this is the number here. And of course, we do have to update this particular slide as well, because one of the things that we've noticed with our director who goes out and talks and other people, that these numbers have gone up since COVID because of the fact that a lot of our youth and people are online and they're getting more cunning, is what I say, in terms of using the online to be able to grab their victims. Okay. So sex trafficking, this is the number that was identified in terms of that. And then we also have the average age at the time of exploitation is 18. Okay. But we also are finding younger than that. Okay, so sport service, residential based. Okay, one of the things that I always encourage people to do, I think most of you probably heard a few months back, there was a young lady just before the pandemic happened. She was missing for almost a year, and she was found actually, I believe, I want to say early August. Her family was able to locate her and to get her out of that situation. But these things are literally, as Ms. Curitan and I said earlier, it's right up under our nose. It's right there. There are things that are happening. We always say, if you see something, say something. Don't risk your life or anything like that. But definitely, if I would rather someone be wrong, but make sure that you're, being safe when you're reporting different things that may be suspicious in terms of human trafficking. Okay. All right. So these are some of the entries right here in terms of entries of missing children. And again, this number is probably higher because of right now the pandemic. And this is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. This was done back in 2018. Okay. And then so we also have 92% were endangered runaways. One of the things too with working with youth is paying attention to the different changes that youth may go through. Where if you had a youth that may have been interactive, like to talk a lot like I do, and that person starts kind of shutting down and pulling back, it's okay to, ask questions. We as adults be a little nosy sometimes. And I know a lot of times our young people are saying, I got this, but sometimes just, asking questions can make a big difference. Any questions? Anyone have any questions?
Candice, that number of 14,000 sex trafficking victims, that was reported what year?
2018.
Okay, so from 2018 to present day.
Is that number is definitely higher. I have to update this particular slide. So when we come back the next time, I'll make sure I have the accurate numbers for you for what's actually going on now.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see here. Sorry. Okay. And how are victims lured? Okay. Kidnapping, false friendships, recruitment. This is one of the biggest ones right here in terms of false relationships and recruiters. Oftentimes, those that are in your could be in your classroom, could be in your neighborhood. I often tell people could be sitting next to us in church. We never know. In terms of a recruitment, that friendship, building that friendship up with someone that's already in it. The recruiter is going to use the person that is already doing it, and they're going to, like, let's just say, Miss Tony, I'm, constantly talking to you, and if you're saying, oh well, I'm low on money or something as a youth, those are the things that the tactics are used to lure young people in if they're seeing that. And so again, young people, a lot of times they don't know that this person is going to force themselves on or force them to do these things. Romantic relationships, thinking that person is, saying, hey, I'm here for you. What, if you love me, you'll do this. So being able to constantly have that conversation with youth and not just with you, because we're seeing that a lot of times, even in situations with COVID going on, communication with family members, seeing what's going on, how they're doing. Okay. Promise of a job, modeling opportunities. A beautiful girl like you should be in magazines. These are things I've had a conversation actually with a young lady a few weeks ago who told me how she was inside of a store and she was being, the person commented and said, oh, you look very nice. And she was like, okay, thank you. And as everywhere she moved, that person was following her. And so she ended up going to the front of the store and letting the security guard know to, walk her out. But these are things that are happening, like, again, right up under our nose, saying what a person, trying to, if a person has low self-esteem, building them up, trying to get them to, come into that family. it's one of the ways that tactics are used. Family can be used. Family can actually be the person that's doing the trafficking, or it can actually be that trafficker saying, we'll do something to your family if you don't cooperate with us. Okay. Posing as a benefactor, I'll take you shopping. Again, what, if a young person is saying they don't have this or don't have that, oh, I'm low on money, this is where this kind of like knight in shining armor is coming through. And it's not just one thing too, it's not just men, it is men and women that are doing the trafficking and that are being trafficked. So that is something that we to pay attention to as well. I know a lot of times we focus in on our young ladies, but the young men are being trafficked as well. Anyone have any questions? All right, keep moving. Okay, identifying traffickers and victims. So this is your trafficker right here. Okay. So
Candice, your screen is not moving. Okay.
It's not. You see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So identifying traffickers and victims. So as you can see, the traffickers are in the middle. So exploitation, recruit, transportation, harbor, and obtain. So one of the things that we focus again, oftentimes on the sex trafficking, but labor trafficking is going on as well. Many times if a person may not have their visa card or maybe over here illegally, they're trafficking them that way through work and through sexual exploitation as well. So being able to work with them and help them to, find a safe place or a safe haven, transport coming from other countries over here or between states, really. We had a situation a few years back where a young lady was here in Michigan and they ended up, she was trafficked through 3 different states. So these things are, again, happening. The recruitment piece, what does that look like? Again, it's those conversations. It can be online, it can be in person, it can be your neighbor, it can be your family member. This recruitment is, to me, it's versatile. It's just depending on which angle they're trying to get or how they're trying to get that person. Okay. So harbor, even with harboring a person in their home, that can be something that can be going on. Again, in our communities, these things are happening. I always tell people to pay attention to when the news is saying somebody is missing. So oftentimes in the communities where, they report somebody missing and we just think of it as, okay, we're, into it for the first few days, but then it's just like it just fades away and we don't hear anything. We need to ask those questions. Hey, has this person been found? What's going on? Keep checking to see what's going on. Don't, keep it as something that's in the forefront, because the more we keep it in the forefront, the more we can be able to help those around us. Okay. Okay. These are their control methods. So isolation from friends and family. If I have a friend and I'm close to them, and they want to stop me from that relationship, it's just isolation. Well, you spend more time, you want to spend more time with them. I thought you loved me. I thought you cared about me. If they can isolate that person, you have to always say, communicate with young people, ask them questions. Hey, we used to go out. I don't see you at school as much as I used to. Is everything okay? Asking questions is so very important. Physical and emotional abuse. These are things that the trafficker use. Again, domestic violence plays a role when these young people or persons are being abducted. Emotional abuse, telling them, okay, if you don't look all that beautiful. I love you. I care about you. So just different things that they will play on that person, prey on the vulnerabilities to create dependency, trying to get that person to depend on them and let them know wherever that person is vulnerable at, okay, this is what I want. I'm here for you. I can do this for you. So being able to have that conversation. Money and ID, taking those things away from them. If a person doesn't have money and identification, it's hard a lot of times to, navigate or get from place to place. So making sure, again, how do we get this? And this is one of the biggest things that we encounter, even as working with the youth that we work with, making sure that they have their identification, on them, and just different things. Keeping up with these things, because once they're in the traffickers, what I say, clutches, taking these things away, they can't really do what they need to do or maneuver like they need to. Any questions? No? Okay. Oh, hold on. 1 second. Please take that down. This is like a part. We broke this up into parts. I'm gonna let them get this information. And then I'll also type my information in the chat box. Okay. Any questions, any concerns, anything you want to add? Okay. All right, hold on. I'm just typing my information in here, Miss Tony. Someone said they would like to talk. Oh, go ahead. Do I have to give them permission or something, or are they good? Can you see that, Miss Tony? Oh, there we go. Yes.
Thank you. I was so confused. I'm like, I didn't know
It's
what to
okay.
do. Because there's no like mute button or whatever.
Okay.
So, just to share an experience I had, it was a 14-year-old little girl who got on my list just because lack of contact, for mental contact.
Mm-hmm.
So talking with her, she's always at the aunt's house. And mom would just say she's babysitting. So every time I'd call, the aunt was never home. And I never met the kid before, building a relationship. Turns out she's babysitting with the cousins, with the baby's father, who's not related to my student. So she's always there, and the aunt was never there. So I'm like, well, I don't understand, Mom, why is she babysitting when the dad of the children's always there? She likes money. She likes to get her hair done and her nails done. So the way he got her, which Mom didn't know, but he would get her hair done. He would get her nails done. He would buy her outfits, and he was trafficking her, and right under Mom's nose.
Oh, wow.
And thank goodness, I reported it and they saved this little girl, and then you're right about asking the questions. I have one little girl now. I got her out again. She's like works, but she never had set hours. I'm like, well, what do you do? And she would never tell me. So then she said she works in a massage parlor. I said, okay. I said, do you like it? And she's like, sometimes it makes me uncomfortable. I said, honey, if something makes you uncomfortable, you should not be doing it. I called that local sex trafficking establishment, whatever it is. And I got back with the girl. She finally told me the name of the place. I reported the name of the place. It was horrific. Once again, she got out as well. Very uncomfortable conversations. I hated it every single time. But boy, oh boy, when these kids got saved, I was so happy.
And when you reported that case, who did you contact to report it?
So I did, so this was Genesee County, so that's my Westwood. So I was talking to the mentor, and we have like a general number, but she said, do Genesee sex trafficking. So I did that because of where the student was located. The other one, Aaron Brown was involved, and that was, it was a Redford police officer who had come into the building, Tony. I don't know if you remember that Redford police officer who he had these sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah.
I was driving with Aaron, and when I got the call, we called that officer and saved that family as well.
So then the best advice would be to contact the local authorities for wherever that person lives.
Yeah, contacting the local authorities. And then also, as you're contacting the local authorities, I think it's at the end of the next segment, but I'll get it for you. It's a 1-800 number to call for it as well, to report. But local authorities, making sure that they are aware of what is going on. It's very important. And Ms. Ann, thank you for being diligent with checking on these youth and asking these questions. Again, one of the things I always try to encourage my team on, a lot of times our youth, they may be upset or they may lash out at us. Oftentimes they're not lashing out so much as angry at us. It may be a situation. And so just stepping back for a moment and allowing them to speak, and we can find out so much more just in general conversation, and just allowing them to, to kind of, talk, and they'll let you know, just like how the young lady let you know, and that this situation, was going on. And good thing that you had the instinct to say, hey, this don't sound right. And especially in both cases, this doesn't sound right. This doesn't look right. Again, if you see something, say something. It is better to at least put that out there so that person can get the help that they need. I'm sorry, I went back. Go back. Sorry about that. Yeah, any more questions? Did everyone get this information? Okay, and this number right here that's on the screen, again, when you call in, you feel free to ask for the Crisis Resource Center. If you have youth that are in crisis, or not just youth, it can be parents that may be in a crisis in a situation such as this, that we can refer them or we get services to them. Okay, I'm not going to go too far into this. What we use this slide for this particular presentation for Ms. Tony, as well as we did a skit. Our youth, actually back in 2018, they did a skit on human trafficking, and they were able to use this slide and the skit, and they started going into different communities and doing the skit. We started doing it at schools and at some churches, and they started asking us to come back. So that person who created this, we asked these questions. What do traffickers look like? So you have this person here, Ricky, 27, bachelor, works at Ford in the factory. I'm romantic, loves candlelit dinner and enjoying movies at home. Okay, so when you're looking at him, does he look like a trafficker to you?
Not at all.
Okay. Okay, so
Yeah.
here we go.
That's what
this is what. So this is Slickback. Okay, 45 years old, sugar daddy, enjoys shopping and spending my weekend at the club. Okay. All right. Hey, I'm Janet, 32 years old, mother of two, and work hard to provide for to provide for a family, okay? So we're looking at everyone, okay? 19-year-old graduate with dreams of being a rap artist. Hold on, nope, go back, let me go back, I'm sorry. Okay, so out of all the ones that you just seen, who would you say is a trafficker?
The second guy in the leopard outfit.
Okay, this is who we would say, right?
Yeah.
But guess what? Every last one of them could be traffickers. Every person that we just seen could be a trafficker. It doesn't, again, we've had situations, thank you. Someone just Kurt put it in there. Thank you so much for putting that number in there. We have parents, again, a child was trafficked in 3 different states before they caught up with and was able to bring them back safe. It can be a person that you may meet a person online. Let's just be honest. In this day and time, everybody says, "Oh, I'm too busy, so I'm doing online dating." A lot of people don't go out anymore. So when you're meeting these people, again, you just think about those things. What traffickers could look like. So there's no set face, is what I always say. There's no set income or anything. Traffickers are out there. Uh-oh. Okay. So he has dreams of being a rapper. He could be this young man right here. I remember this probably was back in either 2016, 2015 or 2016, but a young man actually was arrested. He was in school. I think he was like 17 and his victim was like 15 years old, and he was trafficking her, and they were in the same classroom together. This was happening. So we have to pay attention. We have to have, again, it's okay to have those conversations. Be nosy. And just on the side note, oftentimes we, as parents, no, help me out, Miss Tony. We pay the bills for them to have a cell phone, for them to have this right here. You're paying for that. So it is okay to ask questions about hey, what's going on? Who's calling in? What websites? Check these things out to keep your youth safe. Okay. Okay. So again, we say, what do traffickers look like?
Does anybody have any comments or questions? Can I unmute anybody?
Any questions? No? All right. Okay. So what do traffickers look like? And again, say each person on this picture. Is it Miss? Someone, go ahead.
I have a question. So is it possible, like if we try to talk to the kid that is going through, is it possible that they get scared because they can, the police can penalize them or something, or would that happen or not?
No, they wouldn't be penalized. One thing that we have to one thing that we're doing now is we're learning how to work more with the police departments and different agencies so they can actually recognize this. I'll tell you a quick story, and hopefully when we do our next session, I'm going to have a survivor to come. I would really love for a survivor to come and talk to you so they can let you know what happens. We did have a survivor. She told her story of how she was 14 years old, ended up going into the emergency room because she was assaulted. And mind you, she's a youth. No one asked questions. They seen her. The police basically thought that she was just out there, but no one asked the questions. So what we're doing is learning how to work with those, even in the emergency rooms. Ask questions. Ask questions. Don't just think just because that person is coming in that they're just out there doing it. Ask the questions. We're teaching them how to, be sensitive. So that child that may have those want to talk to you, reassure them that this is not their fault, because oftentimes you feel that it's their fault, or the person that's in this situation, they may feel that it's their fault. It's not their fault. Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So
if I may, Tatiana, sometimes like they don't know they want help until they get help. So
yes.
you know what I mean? So you don't always need to say, hey, I'm calling the police or I'm
Right.
calling this
Yes.
agency. Because a lot they're frightened, but they don't know they want help until the help gets there, if that makes sense.
That's what I thought. Like if you involve police, a lot of them, they will get scared to talk to you because they think, oh, okay, you're gonna judge or you are gonna send them to the police, and
they don't need to know. You don't have to. They don't need to know it's you.
Right. And the way that I say do it as well with anything when we're approaching these situations, it's baby steps. What I love about our agency, the organization as a whole, I started working for Alternative for Girls 4 years ago. When I came into this, I didn't know a whole lot about human trafficking. To be honest, it was TV shows that, you hear about it on TV shows, movies, and things like that. And once I started working, like each day, Miss Tony, one thing that I just love, our crisis resource center, it stays open. And what I mean by that is this: a lot of women they've been trafficked, and so they're still in the sex industry. They're still out there. And they're able to come in. They're able to come in and take a shower, change of clothes, get a hot meal, sit down and talk. It takes years before you're able, a lot of times, to get people out of human trafficking. And I like what you said, Miss Ann, having a safe space. They will talk to you, knowing that, hey, Miss Ann, it's babies. It wasn't something that you just did right away. Oh, let me call the police because this young lady is over her aunt's house all the time, or this young lady is working all the time. Let me call the police. No, building that trust and getting that, allowing them to be able to say what's going on. And same thing with us as an agency, having that resource center open for those women to come in. What if we were closed all the time? Or what if we said, oh, you're just still out there, we're not going to deal with you? No, guess what? Every year I watch women come through that door and they say, I want to get out of this. Can you get me into rehab? Please understand that a lot of times when this is happening, drugs are involved. They're being, in order to keep them in control, there are drugs that are used. So we want to make sure, again, just build those baby steps up, or having that conversation. Let them be able to come to you. And then, I promise you, gradually they'll begin to open up. They will.
I love that you said baby steps, because it is so baby steps, and it's so hard to be patient. But letting that, like my last one, letting her know I wasn't judging her when she finally told me where she was working. I didn't judge her. I said, honey, we just need you to be safe. We just need you to be safe. And, it took months. It was painful.
Yeah. And it takes, like I said, it does take a while. That's why we go out every, what we have is the safe choices, taking that van out into the community where trafficking is going on, passing out what we call harm reduction kits. Harm reduction kits are condoms, And also bleach kits. Bleach kits are basically what they use to clean their needles. Again, because most of these people are on drugs. We don't judge them. We take food out to them. We give them that time. We had, I believe it was on last weekend, or last week rather, there was a young lady. They would pass this young lady all the time. And finally, they were able to get her off the streets on I think last week or 2 weeks ago, get her off the streets and get her into rehab. She wanted a change. So just us showing up makes a difference. I know it can be frustrating at times because we're like, oh man, you want it to happen right then and there. Every day I wake up, I want it to happen right then and there. But guess what? No, let's just show up. Let's just continue to take those baby steps and make that difference in that young person's life, or in that older person's life, in that parent's life. We don't know what what the parent, we say to children, but what if that is going on with that parent? What kind of resources can we get to them? Hey, here's AFG. Here's this program that we can help you out with. Do you want to talk? Again, not forcing ourselves on them, but just taking that little bit at a time. It's like making a cake. We don't put all the ingredients. If you make a cake and you throw everything in the bowl all at once, I don't want that cake. A homemade cake, it takes a while. You got to put the ingredients in, and I promise you, it comes out well, and we're making a difference. And if I could just, say anything to encourage everybody on this line, on this call, as teachers, as professionals, keep doing what you're doing. These young people need us. These families need us. Even if it's just that one, you're making a difference. So that's my spiel on that. I'm gonna do this last one, and then we'll save the other part for November. But I do want to make sure for November, Miss Tony, if it's okay, to actually have a survivor to come and speak with the group so they can tell their story.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So again, traffickers often have the same national, ethnic, or cultural background as their victims. So it's happening in all cultures. Don't think it's just happening in the set culture. And all classes, middle class, low class, high class, it doesn't matter. All of this, this is happening all around. Okay. And again, it's not just the sex trafficking. We think about labor trafficking is going on as well. Okay. Can work alone in a criminal network. Again, it could be that one person. I think Miss Ann said about the massage parlor. That situation right there, where you're able to, that person is able to lure people in and to work that way. One thing last year, actually probably around towards Christmas time, I have someone that works for Amazon and they're a manager there. This person that worked for Amazon would show up every single day. I mean, was working every day. And one day, the operation, they were actually running a child human trafficking ring. They were showing up to work every single day. And the ring got busted on last year. I believe it was on Channel 2, was the first to break the story out of Madison Heights, where these people were trafficking youth. Again, people show up to work every day and nice. And the person said they were nice. They had, they were really, really nice people. Yeah, but we never know. Can be pimps, gangs, family members, boyfriend, father figures, or managers. So we never know. We never know. Any questions? Any other questions?
You guys, any questions, comments? Can I unmute anybody else?
Okay. All right, we got a few more minutes. So I'm gonna stop sharing. Okay. Yeah, anyone else, any questions, any input?
Candice, I do want to ask you this.
Yes.
So is it a lot of youths that are finding themselves homeless because they've been displaced from their homes? Are they finding themselves in a situation where they're being trafficked also?
Yes, ma'am. Yep. Yep, definitely. One of the things that we do now when you've come through our shelter, we do a human trafficking class, because when they come through the shelter, we're looking to transition them back where they're able to do, be on their own and things like that. And so we do a human trafficking workshop to help, detour that, because let's just say I get my own place, okay? Someone may come up to me and sound nice and all of these things. Next thing I know, before I know it, I'm being trafficked. I'm back out into the streets again. So having that in place is helping a lot as well. But most youth that are homeless, yes, they will find themselves in it. And again, it's not just girls, it is boys, young men as well.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions or concerns, anyone? And again, I encourage everyone that's on the line to please feel free to call if you have youth that are in any type of situation. We're willing to work with them, try to get them some of the services that we have currently through our SOP with our street outreach grant. We do work with them in terms of finding, getting an ID, birth certificate, school, even if it's just hygiene products. Someone may be looking for a place to stay. And oftentimes, again, sometimes it's the whole family that is homeless or on the verge of being homeless. And so how can we help? How can we make a difference? And I always tell people we're not superheroes or anything like that. We don't have all the stuff, but the little bit that we have, we do want to make sure that we share that with you and that you're able to give that out to the students. And so any teachers, if you feel like, if you want to call me after this and any questions or anything, please feel free. If you have youth that you see that may need the help, let us know. Reach out to us. We're here for you.
And so you run a 24-hour outreach program where displaced young people can connect and receive either direction to shelter and or supplies and food and things like that.
Yeah. So right now it's not 24 hours. The Crisis Resource Center is open to 12 midnight for right now. We're working to get it staffed 24 hours, but right now we're staffed up until 12 midnight is the Crisis Resource Center. And so again, if it's something that you stand in need of, feel free to call. The number that I put in is my work number. And like I say, if you have a youth that you would like for us to connect with, please let us know. And this is something, Ms. Tony and I, we've been talking about this, and we do want to try to make this at least once a month that I do a check-in with you. Someone said they missed my contact information. We do want to make sure that we come in once a month and let you know about, again, the services that we have, any special projects that we're working on. And I'll make sure that I keep flyers out to Ms. Tony so we'll have them to be able to give out, again, to youth and to parents, because in all honesty, most of the time I know we're focused in on the youth, but without the parents, we wouldn't have the youth. And so let's try to see how we can help service them as well. And through any of these programs, again, we have I'll repeat that, we have a human trafficking grant right now, that if someone is in human trafficking, we're helping them with housing. If they're experiencing that, we're helping them with housing to help them to move forward and get out of that lifestyle. We also have a domestic violence grant that we just obtained on last year, and that's helping get them out. Domestic violence, helping them in terms of getting to somewhere safe. A lot of times PPOs advocating for them to make sure that they are able to get out of those situations. We have connections with shelters. It's not just our shelter, but we have connections with other shelters as well to be able to help you with that.
That's always an excellent point to bring up, because a lot of times I've reached out to many shelters and they're like, no, we're full, we're full, we're full. And then from there, you're kind of at a loss because there's not another place that they can hand you off to that can provide you with what you need. And so that's really good that you're saying that even if you're full, you will still locate another facility
Yes.
that can help them.
Yeah, I'm really passionate about that. And just, I know what it's like to sleep in a bus station as a young person trying to get away from situations. So I'm passionate about getting the help to our youth. We can, and it's about us working together. I think for so long that I think we isolate ourselves in a sense, and we don't know. I don't know what you have. I don't know what Miss Ann has. So let's just come together for the good to make a difference in our youth.
We're stronger in a partnership as opposed to a silo or an island. We need to network, and we need to know what one another's capability is so that we can, hand them off and make sure that they don't get lost in the cracks, because, we lack in this area, but we don't want to reach out so that gap can be bridged,
And I'm willing to even we have what we call the top program, but what I'm sensing today with this group here, even with the youth, if you have a group of youth that you would just like for me to just do small rap sessions with, I'm willing to do that, because sometimes just them having conversation, it makes a big difference. So let's try to figure out what that looks like. Even if we just did the rap sessions, maybe once a month. It's a place for them, it's a safe space for them to come and talk about the things that they need. And then also I would still let them know about the resources that are out there for them to help them to move forward. So just let me know how we can be a help outside of us coming once a month doing these sessions with the staff.
Good deal. Good deal.
Okay.
You guys got any other questions or comments that you would like to contribute? Can I unmute you, or are you cool with typing it in?
Thank you, Ms. Tony, for allowing us to come today too. Ashley Fairbanks is on the call as well. She's our administrative assistant. She's been with us since last year, doing an awesome job in terms of working with us, with the youth. And then also she actually heads up the Forgotten Harvest. When she came in, Ms. Tony, it was like a bright light to be able to have her hand off Forgotten Harvest, but she does an excellent job with making sure that families twice a month are receiving meals, working, letting them know, calling. Let's say if you have a family that's at your location and may need food, hey, come on over to get what's needed.
Ashley, I'm going to unmute you so that you can share and talk about your piece in this pie that we're eating.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. My apologies. I'm having a little tooth pain, so I'm going to make it short and sweet. But like Miss Candice was saying, we do the Forgotten Harvest piece, and that happens on the first and third Thursday of every single month. And the really cool thing about the Forgotten Harvest opportunity is not only are we feeding the community, but if you'd like to come and volunteer yourself, it's a very fun and easy way to not only get out in the community and build those relationships, but it's very safe as far as COVID restrictions are concerned, and it's a short amount of time. Does anyone have any questions about it?
Ashley, do you have any flyers that will indicate the days that you're giving away the food and the location? that we can,
Absolutely. Let me see if I can throw it into the chat.
Thank you, Ashley.
No problem.
And if not, you can send it to Candice, and Candice, you can send it to me so that we can put it out there for
Okay.
all of our students and their families, because the more resources that we have at our disposal, you know, the better we are, the better off we are.
Okay. All right. And then I'm going to call you afterwards to see, because if it's anything we can possibly drop off to you as well, you know,
Oh, good deal.
hygiene items or anything like that.
Good
Miss
deal.
Susan Hunt has her hand up.
Susan, I unmuted you. You can go ahead.
Yes, I would prefer, because I have a situation with a family right now, I would prefer to call you after this session. Is that all right?
Sure. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the number that I would call you on is the 361-9400.
No. I put in, it should be 248.
Okay, 248
787
787
7650.
7650.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to add, while I was thinking about it, a lot of times I think we think it's always a man that lures these young girls into the human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also noticed that sometimes it's a disgruntled girlfriend or somebody who may pose or is helping someone else, like you say in the modeling industry or something,
Mm-hmm.
may set their girlfriend up, and you know, she's thinking she's going to a party or something of that nature, and come to find out it was a way to lure her into this type of lifestyle. So it may be another female who puts the young lady in those positions.
Yes, definitely. This is how it happens. Again, because I'm more apt to talk to my, the women than I am to just jump off and talk to a guy. So
Right.
this is exactly right.
And again, in my opinion, this is a subject that you simply cannot exhaust, because
Nope.
it is always evolving. It is ever changing. Every time I sit in on any workshop dealing with human trafficking, my mind is just continually blown at the new ways that they are coming at our youth, and the ways that as an adult, I don't even consider, because, I'm just out of touch, Again, we thank you so very much, Candice. We look forward to you coming back next month. You guys, you have her contact information. If you have any questions, if you have any comments or concerns, please feel free, reach out, tap into her resources and all of the networks that she has available. And, let's work at keeping our young people safe and getting them back for those that have found themselves in it,
Yes, so very important. So I do look forward to meeting with everyone on next month. And my goal will be to make sure that we have a survivor so they can tell their story, and also give other insights in terms of what to look for, so.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining. It's been a great afternoon, and we'll see you on Thursday. We're going to be dealing with bullying and conflict resolution. Thank you again, Candice. It's always great to have you. Always a pleasure speaking with you. And you guys have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great day.